Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. The people that you are once familiar with a lot of times are not going to be able to support you because they're not meant to be with you when you get to the best version of yourself, when you elevate, when you grow, and when you become successful. Let's talk about it. Welcome or welcome back. Is your favorite mental health specialist, High Guidance, and I said it. Your family members, your friends, your mom, your brother, your cousin, the people you grew up with, if they are not growing in the same direction as you, you're going to outgrow them. And you have to be okay with that. Why? Because nobody lives forever and nothing in life lasts forever. You have to realize that if these people and these places and things loved you the way that you love them, the relationship will be mutual. When you guys have differences and disagreements, it won't turn into an argument. It won't be chaotic. It won't be problematic. You'll be able to agree to disagree or just accept what you know and learn from the situation. A lot of times, the reason why the people that are closest to you cannot support you is because they're not going to be where you are as you're growing. You have to realize that everybody has their own identity in this world. Everyone, including myself, including you, we all have our own 24 hours. We all have our own lives. And the reason why it's a lot of times so hard for people to accept this is because the attachment issues. Like, you're born into your family. That's the first people you meet on this earth. The first people, other than your doctors, if you were born in the hospital. But other than the people that physically brought you into this world, the first people you're going to meet is your family. That's your first assignment. So for those of you who are intuitive, let's go ahead and switch the perspective. And if you're religious, go ahead and get into your word. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, just keep listening. The first lessons that you're going to meet and deal with are going to start with your household because you don't know anybody else when you get here. Okay? And because these are the first people that you meet, you have to realize whatever they were taught, whatever they were installed, that's what you're going to be exposed to. Now, just because you grew up in a certain household, just because you grew up in a certain way, doesn't mean that you have to continue to install what you have been ingrained with, or that you have to condone, or that you have to react and respond. You have to realize that if certain people in your family members are doing things that you don't agree with or you don't accept, that you're either going to accept them for who they are or you're going to be able to create distance from them, and that is okay. You can't be upset if people in your family are complacent or comfortable or are meant to be somewhere that you're not. A lot of people get disappointed when it comes to them healing and elevating, starting a business, content creating, going back to school, whatever it is, and they want support, not realizing that if these people don't support themselves, if these people have their own lives and don't know who they are, how could they possibly help you? And you need to have that level of understanding. You need to be in reality. A lot of people tell you in this world to be delusional. I think that's very misleading, and I don't agree with that. Why? Because if people knew what delusion was, that wouldn't be something that you focus on. We don't have to be delusional about what it is that we want. We don't have to be delusional about going after things that we desire. Not just that, the real honest truth, it's up to you to fulfill what it is that you want to do in this world. If you want to be a multimillionaire, if you want to get yourself out of poverty and everybody else around you is in poverty, they cannot help you. I'm speaking from experience. My mother, my brother, certain people in my family, certain people that I was familiar, they cannot help me. It's not their job. It is not their vision. It was not given to them. It's not up to them. It's up to me. And a lot of times, yes, we would like to have the people that we are familiar with and the people that were closest to us help us, but we have to look at people for who they are. You will save yourself the disappointment. And this is when the chip on your shoulder starts to rise. Once you realize that you have to show up for you. You have to live your life for you. You have to do things for you. It is not selfish of you to be selfless for you. You have to realize that a lot of times, no disrespect, our parents and our grandparents, if they come from poverty, if they come from racism, if they come from these trials and tribulations, they pass that on to us. And unfortunately, we have to be the ones who break the generations, who break the curses, who no longer allow certain things to continue. Now, if you grew up and this is not your situation, take what resonates, leave the rest. But a lot of people in this world do not come from stable households, unfortunately. A lot of people do not come from two-parent households with love. And even still, you could live in a two-parent household with love and still have other issues. Like I said, you know your situation better than what it is. But recently, one of my followers brought it up, and I just wanted to make this into a video. And speaking from experience, you're only frustrated because you want other people to support you. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't deserve your flowers. This doesn't mean that people can't support you. This doesn't mean that people can't engage. This doesn't mean that people can't try to help you or try to get to know you, but it's not them. You have to know your audience. My audience is not the people that I grew up with. My audience is not the people that I went to school. My audience, it's not. I have bigger dreams. I'm doing things that is not common. You have to be okay with that. You cannot worry about people who are going to be where they are when you're trying to grow and do things that have never been done before. It's not impossible. And the only time you feel like disappointed is because you need the validation. That's just what it is. There's nothing wrong with being told what you're doing is good, but you should know that for yourself. And I'm speaking from experience. When I first started my YouTube channel, it was in 2019. This is my second account, for those of you who know. I started my YouTube channel. I did not expect people to support me. Did I have a sense of appreciation for the people who did? Yes, but once I realized that people around me could not support me, or some people just choose not to, because we're going to talk about that too, I did not feel any type of way. I know that my views don't have to match my likes because people are watching all the way to the end. Now, of course, for legal purposes, engagement is important, but you don't need to have 1 million, 1 trillion supporters if they're not even genuine. Like, you want genuine people to support you. Now, there are going to be people in this world like your mom, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your uncle, your dad, who choose not to support you because they know they're not going where you're growing. And honestly, once somebody lets you know that they really don't want you to do well, you can't be mad at them. You will save yourself a disappointment once you realize that some people are just so unhappy with themselves that seeing you happy, they don't want that. If they're not happy for themselves, why would they support you? And when you see people, because it's going to happen, birds of a feather flock together. So you're going to see people that you know support other people. And you're like, well, how come they support them? But when it comes to me, they don't feel pressured by you. When people are who they are, when they walk it like they talk it, shout out to the amigos, they could they could comment, they could support, they can engage, they could purchase your merch, they could book a service, they could contribute into whatever it is that you do. Why? Because they're not a hater. They hang around other people who are like them, and that's okay. You don't need people to be successful. You could figure things out by yourself. And the gag is, once you do figure it out by yourself, once you do take the time and realize, okay, I'm capable, I can do this, anybody supporting you is a privilege. You have to show up for yourself at the end of the day. The people closest to you are not going to support you because they don't support themselves. So learn to accept it. Some people don't want to help you. Some people can't help you. Once you realize that some people are not financially in a position to help you, you don't have to take it personal. But once you realize that even though some people are in a financial position to help you, if they feel like you're going to surpass them, is that the word? Surpass them, let them be. Let them talk about you. Because when it is your season, when it is your time, when things do manifest, because they're going to manifest if you put in the work, you don't have to worry about people telling you congratulations or a lot of people trying to take the credit. And you have to realize that when you do decide to heal yourself, when you do decide to elevate, people are going to be removed. So therefore, when you do get to that version, these people are going to be long gone. I'm speaking from experience. Every single year, every single day, the stuff that comes back full circle is crazy. You still have to show up for yourself. You still have to, invest into yourself, because it's you know what it was like. Like me personally, I'm glad certain people talked about me. I'm glad certain people did not want to help me. I'm glad certain people left me for dead, because it showed me that if imagine that being my end all be all. Like a lot of people sometimes, especially these people, like when people have secret animosity, because let's just call it like it is, when people are envious of you and they think that you're in a situation because they can't overcome it, they think you're going to stay there. And it's not until you get out of that situation and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe she did this, or I can't believe he did, or I wouldn't expect you. Yeah, because you couldn't do it. And that's another reason why, honestly, you shouldn't even want their support. Like, I don't want half of the people to support me who keep up with me or who talk badly about me or who have been removed out of my life, if I'm being completely honest, because it's a backhanded compliment. I grew up with a lot of people doing stuff for me. I would say 50-50, but majority, or 75, 25, 60, 40, just depends on the day and the time and the math and equation. But a lot of people in the percentages, a lot of people would do stuff for me because they thought they were better than me. A lot of people would do stuff for me and then throw it in my face and be like, well, I was the one who picked you up, or I was the one who got you this food, or I was the one who gave. And I'm just like, if you have to do those things because you think you're better than me, you think you are, financially more stable than me, you just are in these secret competition with me, I don't want your help. And I'm the type of person that I will go without, and I've gone without before I sat here and asked for somebody to help me. Is that effed up? Yes. But like I said, they're not my audience. They're not my target group demographic. So I learned that a long time ago. I just turned 28. I learned that a long, long, long time ago. And I thank God that I learned a lot of stuff throughout my childhood, because it's ridiculous. You don't have to feel disappointed. You don't have to feel discouraged. And you have to realize too, when nobody is helping you, it takes longer. When people don't want to support you, but they want to support everybody else, let them watch. Let them keep talking about you. Let them, say what they need to say, because it's not going to stop anything. It's not going to change anything. Like the people that left me for dead because they would have died, thank you, God. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, universe. Yep, that's how I feel. I'm allowed to say that. And that's the thing, too. Like, when you know who you are and you know what you go through, like, you already know the vibes. You don't need people to support you. Like, it is nice to have people to help you. And if you do have people that are willing to help you and appreciate you, I tell you guys all the time, you shouldn't take nobody for granted. People are not replaceable. You could replace money. You could replace this iPhone. You could replace this other iPhone that I'm recording on. You could replace this marker. You can't replace your life. Once you're no longer here, that's it. So it's like, treat people how you want to be treated. If you don't have nothing nice to say, you don't have to say it. And if those are not your friends, if those are not your family, you don't have to worry about them. And just because you are siblings, just because you live in the same household, doesn't mean that you're really related to people. Doesn't mean that you really know people for real. People who love you, people who care about you, and I'm not just talking about like blood and family oriented, they are going to support you. It's not hard to support people. Everybody in the world does not have secret animosity. Everybody in the world is not a hater. And that's what you have to realize. People are either going to be haters. People cannot help you. People are not for you. And that's okay. It's okay. Just because certain people that I used to know did not want to help me, it didn't change anything. And you have to realize, like, I talked about that previously, like maybe like last year, a couple of months ago. People have this whole misconception talking about how people didn't expect you to do this. People didn't expect you to do that. They couldn't expect themselves to do that. And honestly, that's just one of my biggest icks. Like, don't assume stuff about me because you don't know me. People don't know you. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. Like, so it's just like when you see people supporting other people, just peep it. Because when you do, like I said, get to the promised land and you get down the yellow brick road and you clack your heels 3 times and the gold is there, tell them to have the same energy. Or if anything, block them. If you didn't want to help me when I was going through the things that I was went through, why do you feel like you're going to celebrate with me? And that's why, biblically, for those of you who believe, the reason why certain people have to be removed out of your life is because for those of you who are religious and believe in spirituality, and that verse where it says God has to put a table before your enemies have to be sitting at the table. Like, y'all not ready to have this conversation. Y'all are really not ready to have that conversation. You need people to sit at the table. They have to be at the table. Like, they have to be invited. The same people that left you for dead, the same people that yapped. And then their big one, oh yeah, when the tables turns, they're going to get their plate. So honestly, you should be grateful. You should be thankful. When people support you, be thankful for them. Be thankful for them. Do not take anybody for granted. But this is your friendly reminder. You could do it yourself. You don't need help. And if you do need help, ask for help. But it's not an obligation. Learn to accept that some people are the way that they are, and that's okay. Create your distance. Once somebody shows you that they would rather see you suffer, they would rather see you hurt, they would rather see you in pain than to help, and they have the finances, they have the resources, and they could, oh yeah, you don't have to worry about me. You never have to worry about me asking you for nothing. And I'm the type of person, I will never talk to you ever again. Never. Like, and that's how it needs to be. We're not here to come into this life to be struggling and suffering and begging people to, when it's free. It's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum. Liking these videos, when I be like, can you guys like these videos, comment, and subscribe? That's the bare minimum. But I'm not the type of person who is focused on that. You can't be focused on analytics to the point where you start to get frustrated, because that's how it is, especially when you're starting. When you started from the bottom, now you're here. Because a lot of people are like that. Sometimes, like I said, people are followers. Sometimes people are envious. They got these insecurities. Like I said, that's not our audience. That's not my audience. Because it's like, you could be there in the beginning, the middle, and the end, or you're not going to be there at all. And that's the attitude you need to have. Learn to support yourself. In the next video, we're going to talk about how you can support yourself. But don't be disappointed when people don't want to help you. Remember them. And honestly, you should use that as motivation to keep going. That's what I do. Somebody wants to not help me, like I said, you never have to worry about me on your life ever again. I promise you. Never. Like, and for me, I don't do second chances. I don't do second chances. Like, some people are like, oh, you need to give. If my ancestors do not ring a ding, 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 call me up and be like, Ty, you need to do this and this. I follow the instructions that I'm given. I don't believe in second chances. The only time you give somebody a second chance is when God, ancestors, or the universe brings these people back into your life. Because it's just like, people know how they feel. And like I said, if people were honest, if people were vulnerable, if people were willing to just be accountable, them supporting you, it's not going to take away from you. That's why I make these videos. Like, me helping the next woman, helping the next guy, it's not going to do anything. Like, it doesn't take anything from me. And it's free. Like, when you give to people, other than like materials, it's free. It's a choice. So always keep that in mind. Make sure you support yourself. Stop being like, oh, nobody wants to support me. And F those people. Because like I said, when you get to where you need to be, they're not even going to be nowhere around. And if they do try to come back and spin the block, you're just going to be, I don't know. I don't know what you would do, because I know I'm not even going to, it's not even nothing to talk about, okay? So if you have questions, comments, and concerns, and you want to know how to support yourself, let me know if that's the next video that we're going to talk about. If not, follow me on all social media platforms at @Tyre_guidance. All the information will be down in the description box below. If you're interested in a service and a session where the energy is more relaxed and more, intimate, book a service on my website at tyreguidance.com. You guys have to realize, on YouTube, these videos are motivational. And I think I'm going to switch it up. Like, mental health specialists on like Instagram and on my website and in real life, but when it comes to YouTube and when it comes to TikTok, you need motivation. And the motivation that I'm giving you is the energy that I am myself. So the standards are high because I can afford them. And you have to realize that when you could do things for yourself, you don't need anybody to help you. Like, yes, you want people to help you. Yes, it's not hard for people to support you. Yes, like I said, it's not hard. And you have to realize that all the people who genuinely support me are really that girl, are really that guy. You're not going to have a problem with people who are confident. It doesn't matter if they're black. It doesn't matter if they're white. It doesn't matter if they're red. It doesn't matter if they're green. It doesn't matter if they're Asian, a hey, a gay, a them, a she, or a he, or EFGHIJK, elemental P. Like, community. Real recognizes real. So when people don't want to support you, oh well. Why do you care? Because that's your mom? Okay, well, guess what? If your mom doesn't know who she is, how can she help you? And a lot of times, this time end off the video, a lot of people don't want to sit with themselves. A lot of people don't like to be accountable. Not me. Not me. We're not throwing shade. We're just telling the truth. But a lot of people don't even like to sit with themselves. And I've dealt with that. Like the people who could have helped me but chose not to help me, they don't even deal with their own problems. So how am I supposed to expect somebody to help me just because I'm related to them? You will be disappointed if you feel like, and like I said, it is effed up. It's a generational cycle that needs to be broken. So don't feel bad when you separate yourself. Don't feel bad when you start to receive the things that you work for. Don't forget who was there for you when you were really going through things. And remember, when people leave you for dead, when people stop being there for you, that's how they've been felt about you. Like, people don't just switch up. People do not switch up. Like, you guys, I'm gonna have so many story times to talk about this year, and a lot of things, like I said, are being unfold. So yeah, I love you guys, but don't be upset because people want to be weird. They're not your audience. Like, once you figure out who your audience is, once you realize what type of person you are, once you understand the energy that you carry, everything else is just like, okay, it's just not for you. Like, I'm not mad at the people because, like I said, they're not even people I would want to be associated with. So I don't feel no type of way. I know you guys are not me, but you guys are following me. You guys are, here getting information from me. So if we're going to be a community, we got to be on the same page. Like, we don't always have to agree all the time because, we're two different people, but I need us to be on the same page. Okay? I'm not somebody that you need to feel like, oh, no, we're not the same, but we're both people. We both have feelings. And it's just like, I know what it's like to, or actually, let me not lie. I don't know what it's like to care about people not supporting me, but I know some people do feel some type of way. I think probably I don't care because at an early age, I realized that, okay, all I have is myself. So just like you guys are healing from certain things, I'm healing from certain things. And two, because you do things for yourself, I'm going to make this into a separate video because this video is getting a little bit longer. Don't be afraid when the people do start to come. And that's probably going to be the next video. Don't be afraid when people do start to come. So like, for those of you who are healing, like I said, from trauma and dysfunction and corruption and breaking certain curses and cycles, once we get out of that stage of that darkness and we start to move forward, because like I said, you're going to move forward, I'm going to move forward, there are going to be people who are supporting you. And that's what I'm talking about in the video earlier. When these people come into your life, don't sabotage them. That's why I said you got to get rid of every single person and everything that does not serve you. Like, all the people who don't want to support you, let them be removed, let them leave, let them yap. So therefore, the right people can come in, because the people that want to support you, they can't come in if you're holding up space for people that don't want to be there for you. You're in a relationship with somebody who doesn't like you. There's somebody that likes you. There's a man, there's a woman who likes you for you. There's my future husband. He know who he is. I know who he is. He likes that I got this black thing on my nose. Why? Because he knows that I don't want my nose to be stuffed up. There is somebody out there for you. There are friends, there are communities, there are jobs, but you're not going to know if you're around people who don't want to be there for you and you're putting all your energy and effort into them. Not just that, why are you wanting support from people who don't support you the same way? Once you realize that people don't even support you the same way you support them, like, that should be the big reality check. So it takes time. Don't rush. I love you guys. Yeah, I'm getting off the video because I'm about to take this off, and it's hard. You guys seen SpongeBob when him and Patrick put those things on his nose and he said, I'm Squidward, 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 Squidward. Let me see if I could. I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna show you guys. Or if I learn how to edit, you guys, or as I'm learning how to edit, I'm gonna put the clips in here because I'm trying to make these videos entertaining. But if you guys follow me on my other social media platforms, you guys know, like, the vlogs, they be hitting. The TikToks be hitting. But when it comes to, like, mental health, we do, like I said, have to be serious. And then, but let me see if I can find it. I'm Squidward, 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 Squidward. That's how I feel right now. I'm not gonna play this sound because I don't want to get copyrighted. But this is how I feel right now with this thing on my nose. This is how I feel, you guys. Can you see this? Oh my gosh. I look like SpongeBob. Okay. You guys, growing up, SpongeBob was one of my favorite shows. So I love you guys. Don't be upset when people don't support you. Support yourself. Support yourself. So therefore, when you support yourself, anybody, like I said, who talks about you, like F them. Like, I've never met a pretty girl or a handsome man who had a problem with me. It's always people who don't feel beautiful. And I'm not talking about looks on the outside. I'm talking about your heart, your mindset, and your morals. Okay? Love you, bye. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok so we can go live until we reach our goal. Until next time, bye.